I started this one about a week ago, and I wanted to learn more about this idea of the Tau. Tau is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, Tav, the last letter of the Aramaic alphabet. Because of a dream that I had many years ago, it's always irritated me because I don't feel as if I've got to the bottom of what it actually meant. In the dream, I was in a church at a wedding service. I was sat at the back of the church, and I looked up at the stained glass window to see Jesus on the cross. And I found myself getting very angry. I stood up, stormed to the front of the church, shouted to the priest, Jesus didn't die on a cross, he died on a towel. And I woke up feeling that was very strange because I would never do that in a church. And I didn't know what a towel was. So I drew the letter T and then did some swirly whirlies and then just kept coming back to it until it ended up looking like this. So there's a circle at the bottom with what looks like a blue eye leading up to the sort of yoni type symbol again, which then raises up in a golden line up to this dove-like figure, but actually also looks like there's a figure within it as well. And at the very top is like a loop with the sun inside. There's what looks a bit like a bird over to the right-hand side. It looks sort of kind of dangling from a leaf or a tree or something, and then there's a figure to the right of that leading in. And then over on the left is this lizardy newt type figure with what looks a bit like water pouring out of the side of its mouth or neck. There's a slightly closer view of the dove/angel figure at the top. Near the top of all of this is a figure lying down, I think female because of the curves. The loop where the sun is looks like it's probably coming out of her womb, and then there's sort of different golden lights of energy coming out of different parts of her body. I kind of thought about how this letter T links back to this whole bread bun thing, and actually the sun shape there at the top is the bread bun shape, so the T being the feminine. And perhaps this idea that Jesus dying on the cross was actually symbolic of a ritual or of an idea of a second birth, really, that would have involved knowledge or initiation into the feminine, perhaps even the Hieros Gammus ritual. T is also the symbol used for the moon Titan, Saturn's moon. There are lots of other connotations and connections as well, but I think the most important thing for me is that I enjoy making the picture. I'm happy with the final result. I was worried a bit because I've not been very well. I've had to sit down to paint. Normally I sort of dance around in between, so not quite as much energy going into it, but I don't think it's been affected. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe.